While a number of cameras feature the ability to window the sensor, I'll be using the Blackmagic design Ursa Mini Pro for my examples here. So, you've got your new camera and you can't wait to shoot some slow motion goodness. You get a subject lined up, set the camera in 120 frame per second mode, and what? Wait, what just happened? My 50mm lens is now like 150. As you can see here, when I selected 120 FPS, the camera automatically switched into windowed sensor mode. So now, instead of about a 25 by 14mm sensor, I've now got an 11 by 6mm sensor. That's a huge change. In terms of crop factor, that's just under 3x. Your next question might be, well, why does the camera do this? The answer is pretty simple. It has to do with limiting the amount of data that the camera writes to media, as well as providing the ability to shoot RAW in resolutions less than the full sensor. Let's examine the data rate issue first. Looking at a single uncompressed RAW frame from the camera, the 2K frame occupies 1.5 megabytes of space, while the full 4.6K frame is 7.5 megabytes in size. The 2K 1.5 megabyte frame size times 120 FPS is 180 megabytes per second. The full sensor will generate 900 megabytes per second. Almost 1 gigabyte, not gigabit, gigabyte per second. That's a lot of data. When the Ursa Mini Pro was released, the fastest CFast card was about 370 megabytes per second. That's well within our 2K frame, but it falls far short of our full 4.6K sensor. Even when using the dual media to record alternate frames onto two media cards, we're still at a maximum of 700 megabytes per second. Another reason for windowing the sensor is to allow recording of raw data at resolutions lower than 4.6K. Let's look at the basic concept behind a raw video frame. We can think of a RAW file as being a container that has a set of still images that represent each video frame. The Cinema DNG format actually creates a separate file for each frame, as you can see here. Each of these frames contains a one-to-one representation of the sensor's photo sites, just like this. Let's assume that the sensor size is 4.6K. Each of these DNG files contains all 4.6K pixels in a one-to-one relationship with the sensor. Now, let's say we have this 4.6K sensor, but we want to record RAW in the HD resolution. Well, in order to maintain this same one-to-one relationship with the RAW file, the sensor has to be cropped or windowed down to 1920 by 1080. Now we've gone from a 4.6K sensor area to less than a quarter of that size. By cropping the sensor like this, your video will have a tendency to have more artifacts and noise than the full sensor because there's less physical area on the sensor to gather light. On the Ursa Mini Pro, you can shoot 120 frames per second at a maximum resolution of 2048 by 1152. You can shoot it in any flavor of ProRes or RAW. So that's it. I hope this helps someone. I'll see you folks in the next video, and until then, take care.